And before moving on, ikhwati fillah, that we wanted to make mention of the extremely beneficial translation that we are utilizing. And I encourage the brothers and those following along to also utilize the very beneficial translation that was translated and put together by the late Sheikh Abu Talha Dawood Burbank, rahimahullah ta'ala rahmatan wasi'ah, who had passed away, rahimahullah ta'ala, in the year 2011, whilst performing Hajj alongside his wife. They had both passed away. May Allah Azza wa Jal have mercy upon both of them and enter them both into his Jannah, Jannatin Na'im. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from him the tremendous efforts that he put forward and the true khidmah and aiding the da'wat al-Salafiyyah in the West. For no doubt he was instrumental, rahimahullah ta'ala, in establishing this da'wah, in establishing this call to Allah Azza wa Jal, the call to the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sunnah of his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the understanding of the Salaf, that he was known for his love of the sunnah and Salafiyah, and his tawadu', his humility. He was known for his many translations, translating the works of the scholars and the books of Ahl al-Ilm. And from them is this book that we are going through, that he rahimahullah ta'ala, that he translated the entire book. And we will read, ya ikhwan bi'idhnillah, some points from that which our Shaykh Abu Khadija hafidhullah ta'ala, that he wrote after the passing of Abu Talha rahimahullah ta'ala, just in order to remind ourselves, ya ikhwan, it's important that we acknowledge the fadl and the virtue of our mashayikh and those who, by the permission of Allah Azza wa Jal, that they have been instrumental and played a huge part in calling to da'wat al-Salafiyyah and in calling to the book of Allah Azza wa Jal and the sunnah of his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in clarifying the methodology of the Salaf. It's important that we recognize their virtue and we make mention of them whilst utilizing their work, and that we make dua for them. So Shaykh Abu Khadija hafidhullah ta'ala, he mentioned in his writing after the passing away of Shaykh Abu Talha rahimahullah, that he said that I have known Abu Talha and his family, Talha rahimahumullah, for 20 years. He has been my teacher, my friend, my confidant and advisor, a supporter for myself and my family throughout this time. In the depths of battles, practically throughout the whole of the 90s, he stood firm against the people of misguidance and bid'ah, translating material in clarification of the haqq and propagating the haqq without any compromise or fearing the blame of the blamers. He stood firm against the Sufis, the Ash'aris, the Khawarij and the Shia. He translated the works of the scholars both past and present, making clear the path of Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah. He defended the honor of the scholars, such as Shaykh Ibn Baz, Shaykh Al-Albani, Shaykh Muqbil bin Hadi, rahimahumullah, and Shaykh Rabi' al-Madkhali, hafidahullah, when the partisans and the innovators in the West tried to dishonor and discredit them. He became a symbol and a sign of Salafiyya in the West. And we do not praise anyone beyond Allah the Most High. And this was all during the 90s, ya ikhwan, when it was not like how it is today, by the fadl of Allah Azza wa Jal, but rather the da'wah to Salafiyya, that it was in its early stages here in the West. And there were many people who had left the Salafi manhaj. As Shaykh Abu Khadija hafidhullah ta'ala goes on to mention, that they are left preferring the paths of innovation. Whereas Abu Talha Dawood rahimahullah, that he saw them come and go, but he would not join them in their opposition. Rather, he would advise those who were once with us upon this path of sunnah. That this was his example, rahimahullah ta'ala. And if you hear from those who were close to him, the likes of Shaykh Abu Khadija, Shaykh Abu Hakim, Sheikh Abu Idris, and other than them, from our mashayikh, and those who have been upon the da'wah to Salafiyah for a number of years, that when you hear them speak about this individual, that you hear them speak about him with joy, and you hear the love that they had for him, and the awe that they had for him, and how he was an example in terms of his taqwa of Allah Azza wa Jal, his love for the sunnah, and disseminating knowledge, his love for the ulama of sunnah, his tawadu' and his humility, rahimahullah ta'ala. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jal that He has mercy upon Shaykh Abu Talha, Dawood Burbank, rahimahullah ta'ala, and that He admits him into His Jannah. And from the signs, ya ikhwan, no doubt, that walillah alhamd, that there were signs of a husn al-khatimah, that there were signs of a good end. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal that He grants us a good end. They had passed away, rahimahullah, whilst travelling for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal, was having spent money for the sake of Allah, in a state of ihram, intending to perform hajj. That these no doubt are good signs. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal that He grants him and his wife Jannah al-Firdaus. And with that, ya ikhwan, we move on to the book, bi'idhnillah. And we should bear in mind as we're reading through this book, that we remember to make dua for Shaykh Abu Talha rahimahullah, and that He rewards him immensely for the translations that He has provided to us, to allow us to benefit from, and every so often that we stop and make dua for him, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. طيب يا